that sort of has getting a quarterback in there that runs the offense a little bit better? Does that stem the tide there? Does that calm things down?
Amongst Kyler fans, no, but and I think they're slowly starting to realize that this is, a fait accompli. It's just not going to work, and we're moving on. And I'm defending Petzing all along. We had a top 10 offense last year. I mean, who argues with top 10? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
We have a top 10 offense. You got to, give it some love. But it was in ways that we're not accustomed to. It was with heavy run game, James Conner blowing over people. It wasn't the kind of romantic Air Coryell, Bruce Arians that or Cliff Kingsbury that we're used to. And so that was a different optic for people. But so I give them a lot of credit for last year. I thought they did a really good job. And this year, it was just, we saw this with Cliff. There are times when Kyler makes an offensive coordinator look like an idiot. And then there's times he makes them look like a genius when he makes these breathtaking off-schedule plays that few quarterbacks can make. So it's there's a dichotomy there. But
yeah.
One of the telling things, Dan, this year, what I learned and what we learned was after the Titans game was that suddenly Petzing had a no audible rule for Kyler in certain plays. And, knowing Kyler, I'm sure that demoralized him because Kyler wants complete control of this. And this goes back to where Kyler's game started falling apart with Cliff. There was that Green Bay game where he audibled into throwing to Rasul Douglas, and that AJ Green didn't even hear the audible or pick up on it. So, and he was watching the scoreboard while we lost the game. I don't know if you were watching that game. It was against Aaron Rodgers. That was the beginning of the end, in my opinion, because people think that Cliff was just so soft on Kyle. That's not true. Cliff wanted, a nice equilibrium about when you could audible and when you couldn't. And, and so, yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Kyler is that he wants complete autonomy. And, and now I think that Petzing had to, dial him back on that. And, I think this was sort of trending in the direction that they all along had Jacoby as a plan B if the things struggle a little bit. And I think the first chance they got, they inserted him in there, legitimate chance. And he's been our Sam Darnold for 3 weeks.
Well, pump the brakes on that. Okay. Just calm down a little bit. Sam's top 5 in every single statistical category that you could ever come up with around the league. I will say this, though. I've always viewed Brissett as kind of a game manager type, like sort of the ideal backup spot starter in that sense. The Seahawks faced him week 2 last year in New England, and he kind of made life tough for us. He moves around better than people give him credit for, I think, and he makes some plays with his leg and throw on the run and everything. And yet, coming out of the bye, with even an extra day coming out of the bye to get ready for the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night, he looked a little bit different to me. 21 out of 31, 261, an 8.4 yards per completion average, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he was making plays down the field, kind of picking on the Cowboys in the middle of the field in that like 15 to 20 yard intermediate range, showing off, to be frank, a little bit more arm strength than I'd ever seen him display before. And getting the ball to Marvin Harrison, 10 targets, 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. They got him involved early. That seemed like a clear shift and something that's been a frustration there for the last year and a half in Arizona. Did you notice a discernible difference in how the offense was operated and called coming out of the bye with Jacoby at the helm?
Well, it's been for 3 weeks. He outpassed Daniel Jones. He outpassed Jordan Love, and he outpassed Dak. 3 of the top 7 quarterbacks in the NFL. And he's averaged 288 passing yards per game. 4 weeks ago, the Cardinal fans thought we had the worst wide receiver unit in the NFL. Marv was a mess. We suck in the passing game. Drew Petzing's awful. Can't call a passing game to save his life. And yet for 3 straight weeks, they've crushed it in the air. Absolutely crushed. Here's the huge difference too. Jacoby, our third down conversions, which I have called for the last 3 years, the third and give up offense, was 39%, one of the bottom half of the league. With Jacoby, it's 56. He's had above 50% in all 3 games, and better percentages than all 3 of those quarterbacks of third down conversion. So he's moving the sticks. I don't know if you saw that hole shot he threw to Marvin Harrison on 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
That's
one of the plays I'm thinking of.
17-yard gain. I mean, that's the other thing is 3rd and long is now still in play because Jacoby's ripping it. And I don't know if you saw the hole shot he threw to Michael Wilson on the first drive of the second half.
Yep.
Right off his break, and that was ripped on a rope. So, and I'm with you. I'm surprised the arm strength is where it is at his age, but he's got a lot of tread left on his tires because being a perennial backup, he hasn't started since his Colt days, right? So
he's got a chance to have kind of a Geno Smith sort of. It's about the age. He's 32 now, right? I think Geno's 35 now. Geno was 30, 31 when he kind of got his opportunity in Seattle and hit his renaissance. But yeah, to your point, in Murray in his 5 starts this year, 962 yards passing. Brissett in 3 starts already has 860, and he's done it on 49 fewer attempts. So they're getting the ball down the field, and they have to because there is really, usually when you face the Arizona Cardinals, you have to worry about their running game.
Right.
James Conner, obviously, he went out with the injury week 3.
Yep.
Trey Benson, everybody was excited about him. He was averaging 8 yards per carry. He gets hurt almost immediately. In fact, didn't he get hurt in the Seahawks game week 4?
Oh.
Now you're going with Bam Knight. Amari DeMarcado still is there. Nobody with more than 200 yards rushing for this team, which going up against the Seahawks team that hasn't allowed anyone to get 100 yards rushing on the season. Right. So maybe that was something they were going to take away anyway. What are your thoughts on this offense going up against this Seahawks defense that is flying high right now?
Yeah, by necessity, we're now a pass to set up the run rather than run to set up the pass. And it's exciting. I mean, we're not just guaranteed to run an off tackle play on first down every time. And we have a play action game, which is good. I thought they went to the well a few times too often in the second half, and the Cowboys were sitting right in it. So, I mean, coming off the edges hard at Jacoby. And I think that they probably have learned and adjusted from that. Because when you don't have that prolific a running game, people aren't going to take your play action as seriously. So I think that's an area they have to pick and choose better. But from the pocket, whether it's just straight dropbacks or shotgun, Jacoby has been really good. And we got to protect him up well. And when we do, he's been very effective. So, and of course, Trey McBride. Here's another amazing stat, Dan, and I know you would appreciate this because you and I have had long discussions about Kyler. Last year, Kyler and McBride had 1 touchdown. I mean, he had this all-world tight end, and it would have been a second touchdown, but it balked off his head. I don't want to bring that back up for you, Dan.
Oh, we know it. Kept us out of the playoff. Son of a.
I know. And now in 3 games, Jacoby's got 4 touchdowns to Trey McBride. Yeah. And he's throwing them into the end zone. Here was the other thing is The times Kyler would throw to him were under the end zone, and he'd get tackled. Now we're throwing beyond the sticks and we're throwing beyond the end zone. I couldn't be more delighted, and I think it's a nice, refreshing change. And to answer your earlier question, in my mind, Petzing has now proven he can run a top 10 rushing offense, and the way this looks now, a top 10 passing offense. The way Jacoby is, I mean, his 56% third down conversion rate, if he qualified with the number of stops, it'd be number 1 in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, wow, I can't believe it. I mean, I watched all of his games because I'm a New Englander. I saw him last year, and I felt for him. He was in a tough situation, and he didn't really play that great. But this is a whole different player this year. He is embracing the leadership. It's coming at a time where he's calmed everyone down. I think he's affected the whole team, Dan. So, because, it's just a settling presence. He's so humble. Like Geno Smith. After the game, he wouldn't talk about himself. He was just like praising his teammates. Yeah. You make a good analogy there because they're very similar personalities.
Well, it appears to have righted the ship, and that's what a team like that really needed, is to just kind of stem the tide. And sometimes it sounds like, and this has always been my issue with Kyler anyway, just kind of has a negative air about him. It was a very like, look at me, it's all about me kind of. You take that out of the locker room, sometimes you lift the entire team.